Hey everyone, so today's an important day in Hexaco. We crossed the mint milestone, so 1 hex for 1 deci for the first time since Pulse Chain launched. Now the eDeci side is ruining my video here. I just dropped below the mint, but we're hovering right at it. And yeah, it's quite exciting because a lot of people in the Maximus community have been looking at DECI for a long time and seeing the opportunity there in terms of the higher APY, the fact that the discount is just so large that it makes it a very attractive prospect for long-term kind of hex believers. So yeah, wanted to load up the delta discounts and have a look and kind of see where we're at in terms of the discounts for DECI. So eDeci, you can kind of see here, we went above quite a bit into the worth more than kind of 1 hex range. So we went over the mint. And just a recap for everyone who's new here, with these pooled stake tokens, you have kind of two ways of valuing them. One is the NAV, or the backing value, this yellow line, which is how much principal and yield exists in the hex stake right now, and that value is increasing every day as yield is accrued. If you know how hex staking works, hex yield is accrued every day, so that's the NAV. And then you also have down here, you have what the pool token was actually minted for, and it was minted for 1 hex. And so it shouldn't really be worth less than that, unless you have just like tons of sell pressure, which is kind of what we've had on DECI. So let me just go back here and show you. Yeah, like Maxi has been worth less than the mint occasionally, but usually it hasn't. You'd kind of expect that behavior from maybe like a longer term stake, but for shorter term stakes, it just presents like an opportunity for a very long term like arbitrage, because you're getting cheaper T-shares and you're getting some of the accrued yield for free essentially. But let's jump over to pDeci, which is kind of like the main thing I want to talk about in this video. Let's get the green, since I like that for the backing here. And let's have a look at the exact mint value. So since Pulse Chain launched, it hasn't really been, let me get it exact, and let me switch to white mode so I can actually get this thing. Okay, that looks like it's there. So yeah, since Pulse Chain launched, we haven't been above the mint once. So this is the first time that one pDeci has been worth 1 hex, and that is pretty crazy considering, I mean, it's not crazy for people like myself and others who have like been buying DECI this whole time, but it's just been low for so long that it's strange to see it start to get traction. But yeah, you can kind of see it's pDeci has been like a massive opportunity if you want to get staked hex, like long-term staked hex. The NAV is just so much higher. If I go back to the table here, we're still at like a 26-27% discount to the NAV on pDeci, and then the discount to the mint on top of that. What does that actually mean? Like I mentioned this in the tweet that I did earlier today, but it means that anyone who minted pDeci, they kind of, if they sold right here at the bottom in terms of the DECI to hex ratio, 0.6 hex for 1 deci, they made kind of like a 40% ish, 30 to 50%, 40% like negative ROI on their mint, right? So there's always like two sides of the trade. So those minters who kind of like sold, they made a negative ROI. But then anyone who bought this minus 40% from the mint discounted p hex, to anyone who bought here or here or here, I have taken the calculation, so I had to double check with ChatGPT here, but you know, if a coin goes from 100 to 200, it's 100% gain. If it goes from 200 back to 100, that's a 50% move to the downside. So that's just kind of like the weird way that percentages work. So I asked it, what is a 40% drop from a value of 1 and then the snap back to 1? What is that gain? And it said it's like a 67% gain. So if you bought the bottom right here, just in hex terms, you made a 67% gain in hex terms right now at the mint, which is kind of crazy. That's not including any dollar appreciation of hex itself. That's just in hex terms, a 67% increase. But this happened with like less than a year. So what is the kind of normalized APY? Well, I did that like 67% divided by the number of days since you had the opportunity to get this 40% discount. I took this day just to be a bit more conservative, but you could have got really cheap PDECI here, and then also even if you got like minus 30% PDECI here, the time frame is so short. You can see that this run up in the ratio happened so, I mean, over a few months, but relatively quickly in terms of the APY that you're going to receive. If I show you, it's normalized to a year, it's around 100% APY in hex terms, right? So you essentially doubled your bag if you bought this discount in hex terms, and we still have like a long way to go to the NAV. So if I look at, so that's kind of like the shorter time frame people. Like if you're speculating on like a recovery to closer to the NAV, then you're doing really well right now. If you're more long term, there's still an opportunity. I mean, this figure, PDECI, it was as high as 50% APY versus the underlying hex APY, which is like 35-36%. You're getting like quite a bit extra in APY. Now it's coming down, it's coming closer to the kind of fair value APY in hex terms, and then the fair value in terms of starting a 10-year stake today is around 28%. So it is coming down as the discount closes. You can see that PMAX is actually, like, interestingly enough, very close to its fair value for like starting a fresh max length stake today, which is really interesting, despite it being at a premium to the NAV right now. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, DECI, I mean, short-term arbitrage guys are winning. Long-term arbitrage guys are, like, it's baked in the code that you're going to be winning. It's just you're going to have to wait longer. But really cool to see that, you know, we're seeing this kind of positive trend after it's just been really beaten down throughout the entire kind of since it's launched. So yeah, just wanted to do a little update there on DECI. I had a bunch of videos lined up for kind of, you know, the fact that you could get 50% APY. I can't really make those videos anymore. I think there's still, you know, like a massive opportunity here with 40% APY, but yeah, it's definitely like the absolute kind of dead phase is kind of passing, it seems. So yeah. All right, I'll leave it there, and I hope you guys have a good one. Speak soon. Bye.